Defensive coordinator Peter Sirmon. As always, just let me know in the chat if you have questions, and we'll go ahead and get started with Trace Travers. Go ahead, Trace.
Yeah, Coach, off of Saturday's film, what did you guys see that kind of took a step up from past weeks?
I thought the guys did a really nice job of executing the plan early in the game. You know, the quarterback ran the football early, but I thought they played well together. You saw when we rushed the passer effectively, you kind of saw the energy of the entire defense elevate, and I think that's probably what I took away from it. And that's what on Monday, the clips that I showed the guys on defense was the excitement, the 11 guys playing together, then even showing the guys on the sidelines. When good things happened on the field, they were very supportive, and it was great to see everybody involved and engaged in the game.
Yeah, and you did it. You rushed the passer without sending more than 4 too often. Was it, I guess, a bit of a relief to see guys winning more of the one-on-one matchups that they maybe hadn't won in weeks past?
It was great to see, Trace. There was quite a bit of line movement of those 4 when we were rushing. There's quite a bit of variety in kind of the rush plan and how we were going after some of the protections. But it was great to see guys finish. However, that's still a point of emphasis, I feel, as well as the sack numbers there's still some things that we need to work on in terms of the integrity of the pocket, where we're allowing the quarterback to escape. There are going to be some situations, and if you bring 4 or 5 and they're in 6-7 man protection, you're not going to be able to completely corral the quarterback. There are going to be some places that you never like to see the quarterback escape. However, there's going to be some places that you're going to be able to tolerate those types of things. And a couple, we had some really nice interior pressures, and I think he left the pocket a few times high and outside, where we gotta keep him in the pocket. We can't lose the pocket in those situations. And one of them ultimately resulted in a holding penalty in the secondary when the quarterback escaped the pocket in a situation we were not designing for that to happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you're muted. Are you able to hear me, Coach?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I think that we got the go ahead there from Kyle. He's having some technical issues. I wonder if you could compare their running back BJ Baylor to Jermar Jefferson, who you've seen in recent years. Are they totally different? Is much the same, or how do you look at them?
They're both running the ball very effectively. How Oregon State's designing their run game. Jermar, I think, was a special talent, but BJ Baylor and Fenwick and those guys are running the ball exceptionally well. And I think there's a lot more similarities than differences. Both are running well behind their pads, breaking tackles, and a lot of both those guys have the ability of taking a 6-yard run, and turning it into an explosive run.
And their offensive line is all back from a year ago, I believe. I think their left guard didn't play last game, had an ankle injury, but he's apparently going to be back. How good is that O-line?
Yeah, I think Levin Good was doubtful or probable last week and didn't end up playing, but we expect him to be back. I think this is the best coached offensive line in our conference, and that's a not to slight to anyone else in the conference. I think it's a compliment to Jim and how he coaches them up there. They do a nice job. We talk about they've kind of built them up from babies. These guys have been working together, and Jonathan and Brian Lindgren, they've done a really nice job of developing what they're doing offensively. And you watch some of the combinations and how they block zone and the tracks that they use and the techniques that they use. It's a very, very well coached offensive unit.
And if I could ask you a follow-up on a totally different topic, your coaching mate Bill has got a nephew who's a tight end for them. Does he give you any scouting reports on Luke Musgrave?
No, Bill and I haven't gotten there yet. It's funny, Bill and I, we don't typically really see each other till Thursday's staff meeting. So he's on one end of the building and I'm kind of working the other end. We passed each other a few times in the lunch line maybe, but we had Luke was down here out when he was a high schooler being recruited, and he's a very talented young man, and he's doing a really nice job, and he's developed very nicely for them, and some of the things that he's doing on special teams for them is a really good positive in conjunction with what he's doing at the tight end position.
Did you see the highlights of him blocking and returning that punt?
I did.
Has he got as much athleticism as his uncle?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
All right, I had another one, so I'll jump right in with it. I wanted to ask about their other tight end, Quatoriano, and what he brings to the table.
Really effective. Both those guys T gap. I think he does a really job of handling some single blocks. Does a nice job on some base outs, some combination blocks, and then both of them are very, very effective stretching the field. You'll see them on some different choice routes, some option routes, and they're big targets. You see a lot of safeties matched up with them, some nickels in certain situations. But they do a nice job with their bodies. I like the route concepts, and they have obviously some concepts and some formations that are designed to get them the ball.
And on the run game topic, it looks just from my uneducated eye that they run a lot more zone than gap. How important is it for your linebacker, your inside guys to kind of fill on some of those plays and not let the lineman get to the second level?
Yeah, it's that's been a big point of emphasis, and that's a lot of what we've been talking about this week is how you marry up the way our D line plays the blocks versus with the linebackers, line rules, some of the formations that can give us some issues in terms of how we line up and some of the spacing. The second level of our defensive linebackers, I consider we're the target. So there's on all these zone schemes, there's a first level target, and then there's a second level target. Where we line up, the tempo in which we move with the zone schemes, the tempo of the outside zone versus some of the inside zone looks are really going to impact the target for the offensive line. So we're spending a great deal of time on spacing, on alignments, on the tempo of the run game, and the defensive line and the linebackers up to the third level of the defense, the safeties, we all need to be seeing it from as much as we can from the same point of view.
And if I can ask one more about Nolan, their quarterback, he's been somewhat involved in the run game, seems like a solid passer downfield. What stands out about his skill set?
Well, they're asking him to do some things at the line of scrimmage, which you'd expect a quarterback to have the capacity, in terms of the mental side of the game. They put him in several situations that they've, against SC, against Utah, they put him in some traditional college football zone read situations, and he's done a nice job of pulling the ball. And then there's not a lot of situations in the drop back pass game that he's delivering the ball where it needs to go. He's working on some of the boot, some of the line pocket movements. He's doing a nice job with that. So when you see a quarterback up at the line of scrimmage managing the offense, you see him with some designed quarterback runs, and then you see him move in the pocket and throwing the ball accurately. It's kind of the full package of what they're asking him to do, and a big part of playing well on offense is having a quarterback that can do all those things.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay, Peter, we all know about Cam on the one outside, but how did Braxton and Marquez do last week, and how is that working out, alternating the two of them?
Both of them played very well. Bim has continued to be very disruptive. A nice pass rush, a couple of weeks ago up in Autzen, knocking people back. He had that play against the University of Washington. That was part of the forced fumble. So Bim is continuing to get more disruptive. He's a different type of pass rusher than Cam, for instance. He's sudden. He has not that Cam's not, but he's got that sudden kind of knockback quality to them. Brax is very consistent for us. Brax is doing a really nice job. He had a couple great reps into the boundary. Colorado ran some outside zone. He had some single blocks on the tight end, and he did a very nice job of doing what we're asking him to do within the concept. So those two guys every week are playing with great effort, great consistency, and it's great if we can get them more and more opportunities to get on the field.
Thanks.
Seems like we're good. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Peter.
All right.